All right, guys, I'm so excited. The liquor booth is getting ready to open. I got the invite to get the personal tour. Come follow me. I know a thing or two about booze.
We wanted to kind of get a few days under the belt before the weekend hit. So I didn't really want to open on a Friday. So Wednesday gives us a few days to work a few more of the bugs out.
Yeah. How many people do you have employed here?
I think we've got about 7 or 8 that, and it's just going to be, and I think as business grows, we'll add more. But,
Nice.
The unknown is how many staff members do we need during peak hours of the day versus evening. And time will tell.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Good. Well, it's cold in here already.
It's almost there.
What's the temperature supposed to be set at?
We're set at 35. Right now the cooler is about 35, but the product's still sitting about 50, about 50,
Product
52
always
right
shows
now.
up warm.
It's going to take a little while for the mass to cool down, and we got a little Facebook post going on for everybody to guess when the beer is going to be at a temperature. So
Okay.
we're closing in on it. I don't want to tip it away, but it's going to start coming down quick now.
Okay. Well, it's freezing in here. Well, okay, so I guess I don't really remember this is the Blockbuster too well now that you've completely remodeled it.
It was the Blockbuster back in the day, and
the Blockbuster back in the day. So where was the adult section?
we have enough whiskey that it started taking up 3 aisles now.
Oh, wow.
So this is all your American and Canadian whiskeys. When you go down this aisle, obviously, probably the biggest selection in town.
Okay.
And growing by the day. If something becomes available, we get it. So you got the Americans here. The Canadian doesn't really take up much space because right now even Crown's a challenge to get.
Oh, I know that. What's your favorite?
But there is a little Crown Peach on the shelf there.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
But so then when you get in, then you get in over here where it does lead into the tequilas, and then we actually ended up with the Irish whiskeys. It just had to be at the end of the aisle. So the tequila is another area that we're going to try to keep expanding on pretty heavily because I think that's another segment that's going to keep growing.
Yeah.
And we've moved beyond the days of Cuervo Gold as the tequila.
Still my favorite though.
If a tequila had a good favorable review, we've added it, and obviously we'll continue to add it as customers ask, because this is a market I don't know yet either.
Okay.
But we're not afraid to add an item if asked.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying some of it. This one in particular, have you tried any of the 21?
Have not. Supposedly very good.
Okay.
That was a late addition that thought we were pretty complete on the tequila, and the rep was like, boy, you really should have this.
Okay, I've not seen that, so I'm going to try that.
And it really, a lot of these items that we've added in inventory, we really based our sales off some liquor stores in Springfield.
Okay.
Because sometimes Quincy's always behind the curve.
Yeah.
So I looked at, my vendors were very accommodating when they brought in the data sheet. They didn't tell me which liquor stores it was, and it was all, it wasn't a Benny's, it wasn't a chain over there, it was all independent owned. So a lot of items we looked at that has a good sales item. And so there's a lot of things we did add, just going, well, maybe we don't know about it here.
Yeah.
So some of the tequilas, even some vodkas and other rums, it was just like, well, Springfield's doing very well with that item. Why don't we have it here?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where everything kept growing.
And get to see how it goes. That's nice.
But
it's nice being an independent liquor store too. Like that makes it so that you get to pick what it is that you want to be.
I don't have to get
carrying.
corporate approval to add an item.
That's perfect.
So that's where the struggle is with a lot of people. There might be that new item, and until corporate sees the sales, they won't add it.
Yeah.
They'll never see the sales if you don't add it.
Yeah.
It's a ham and egg type thing.
So that is nice.
We're able to. There isn't much I won't add.
So you can just come in and ask, possibly.
Exactly. And if it's something of a small item, it may be all right. Well, here's the one. I can order as simple as one bottle.
Yeah.
I can order multi cases. So if somebody wanted a bottle, we can order them a bottle.
It's nice to be locally owned, locally sourced.
Or if it's something else that it's like we've had multiple people ask for it, then it's like, boy, we really should have that.
Yeah.
And now whiskeys and tequilas, usually I try to stay, other than the obvious, hey, can you get the allocated bourbons, which obviously, yes, we always want those and we do
Yeah.
get them, but just because we have them on the shelf don't have them on the shelf doesn't mean we're not able to get them. It's just they're not available right now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other whiskeys I continually look at to always see like, oh, we don't have that one.
Okay.
And then I'll read up on it and should we get it or not. So, I mean, we've got we printed out the whiskey tags and it was 520 different whiskey SKUs.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, if you need to get a Christmas gift, if you know somebody that wants whiskey, this is the place to go. Awesome.
And Irish whiskeys, at the end of the day, Jameson and Proper 12 are 90% of your market on the Irish whiskeys. So
Yep.
it's like, and we'll keep buying those. A lot of these things that we're going to do at the store is just try to buy the volume.
Okay.
So if we see that Jameson's moving well, we're going to try to buy it and pass the savings on.
Okay.
Then you get into the gins, rums. As you know, rum, I mean, there's,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Captain, Malibu, and Bacardi are
Yeah.
the majority of the
But
rum.
it seems like you have lots of flavored rums too.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you're just needing some other options.
Yeah.
And we're in a day where everybody wants flavors.
Yeah.
So whether it be vodka, whiskeys, rums, everybody wants a flavor. And so why not?
Why not all the flavors?
So
you gotta
even on the Malibus and the Bacardis, we've got a lot of flavors. And sometimes that's where the big box stores don't carry.
Yeah.
You know, you go into the big box stores and they have Bacardi and maybe one flavor.
Yeah.
So here it was like we try to keep adding flavors to it to give a lot more choices.
It's very nicely displayed too. My daughter would like that color scheme going on.
But so this all rum, obviously no shortage of Captain, you know, which is the staple of the rums.
It is.
You know, and you know that's one that you've got to definitely buy aggressively, which we have. So
Yeah. What is it? If there's not Captain, it's not happening.
something like that. And again, I would like to think we've got a pretty heavy selection. Really, when you think of any flavor of margarita you've thought of or dreamed of, I think we have.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You know, whether it be margaritas, Bloody Marys, daiquiris. Again, it was one of those I wanted to be where we had, if the flavor's available, let's carry it.
Yeah.
You know, and so, and there's still a few holes to fill in, and that's where we're kind of dealing with some availability issues. But
Fun fact: these Jose margaritas are pre-mixed. Like most of these are pre-mixed, and I think it took me a couple of years to realize that there was already Jose in the bottle. And
Ooh.
that's why you may
You were
or may have
doubling it
not
up.
had some pretty strong drinks for me. And I still kind of have to add the tequila out of habit. Great display.
You know, everything, you know, and some of this we've had to kind of fill in as we're dealing with the bottle shortages,
Yeah.
the can shortages. You know, Bud Light, all we're able to get is 12-pack bottles right now.
The shortages is a real thing. Like,
And-
people don't understand it. I feel like, especially like coming from like the bar side, because you don't see it. But then, yeah, when you do go to the store, it's just like go to the grocery store, go to any store, and
It's
you
everywhere.
can see it on the shelf.
And it's not just beer; it's every product right now. And it's like I took it for granted when I opened the last store when it was like, hey, we need beer, let's order beer, and boom, we did a planogram, we had it all laid out.
Yeah.
And when we went to this store, it's like there's no point in doing a planogram because we don't know what's going to be available next week.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was like, okay, we'll take what we've got this week, and we keep topping it off. But you know, we're still opening without 18-pack bottles, 6-pack bottles. You know, Budweiser bottles, Miller Lite bottles. So it's like it's kind of created a little challenge of doing this store just because
To see where things need to go and.
you know, normal like. When I did the other store, we did basically all of our deliveries in a 2-week stretch.
Oh yeah.
Boom, knocked it out. This store, we've been acquiring inventory for 3 months.
Yeah.
Because when a product became available, we would
You have
jump
to
on it.
snatch it. Yeah. I've never seen so many though in one spot. That's insane.
Well, and that's kind of where we were able to kind of look at it over here and go, well, how do we put them all together? Because sometimes
good.
you don't even know they're out there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, let's just dedicate a couple doors, and a couple ended up turning into 3.
Yeah.
You know, between seltzers and your vodka-based spritzers, and it ended up being 3 doors, and it may evolve from there because it's still
A growing industry.
it's still a growing
Yeah.
segment. So I
It'll be interesting to see if it stays the same through the winter months slows, or if people change their drinks through the winter months.
Typically it slows. Typically it will slow. But what's so far been seen is a lot of the seltzer growth is coming at the expense of the wine market.
Oh.
So
Wow.
somebody
then
that would
wine's
normally
gonna
sit
go
there and have
back
a glass of wine at night is now going, oh, I'll just have a seltzer.
Yeah, especially when it's hot.
So
So now they're going to switch back to wine. Where is your wine?
boxed wine, which the truth of the matter is the majority of your wine sales.
Okay.
The Barefoots, the box, the Franzia, and the Boll box.
Yeah.
But then you get into, on this side of the aisle, you get into the local wines, the Graftons, the Stonehills, Oliver, Stellar, all of those kind of regional wines. So we left the space over here to add a whole aisle as needed.
Okay.
So, we can add a whole other aisle, and the thought was, if you're going to grow the wine, you're going to grow the reds.
Yes.
No, you're not going to sell high dollar Chardonnays like you are Cab Sauves. So we've got the ability to add the wine here, and then we'll lead into basically along the wall would be the cigars.
Okay.
Once we get those here in probably about a month, I would say. So.
Nice. Are you a cigar smoker?
I'm not.
No?
Nope.
Me either.
Not my thing. To each their own.
Yeah, to each their own.
It goes hand in hand with the whiskeys and whatnot, so it's like,
Kind of learning.
yes,
As a business
I'm
owner.
not opposed to it and not
Yes.
my thing. Am I gonna go be like, oh, I want to go have one after work? No, probably not.
No.
But it's also part of the business.
Yeah.
It's cigars
You
and
can
whiskey go hand in hand.
What? Yeah.
And
The
so-
smell behind it too.
Yeah,
Like
so-
I know that. I mean, I don't really like the smell when they're burning, but I know like when you smell them, you're like,
It's a very unique smell.
Yeah.
And so if I can offer that ability for somebody to be a one-stop shop that we've got,
yeah, that would be awesome.